A lot of children are subjected to trauma, especially sexual trauma, and not just from adults, but from other children.
So sometimes I always wonder these women or families that usually have six children, five children, three children, maybe four, two, I think two is okay. And they have different gender and they are broke. The ones that can only afford to stay in one apartment, just there are some apartment that is just in a room, just one space is the room, the parlor, then you have the restroom in another very small tiny place, then probably the kitchen outside of the room, the apartment like that. And there are some families that have like six, seven, five, three, four children. You guys, I always think like, how do they sleep? Yes, I understand that these children are still little. How do you guys sleep in that apartment? Until I saw this lady and this video talking about child on child sexual abuse, then it makes sense to me because this is exactly what I've been thinking. You're not giving these children privacy. Even you are not, you don't have privacy for yourself and your partner. Then, because I remember this woman that stays in the hotel with all her children, her seven kids, and she brings in her boyfriend in that same hotel room. Why? Why are you doing this to your children? Anyway, let me show you the script, then we'll come back and talk about.
Everyone wants to act slow as to why having multiple children that you cannot afford is a terrible idea. So I'll just go out and say the elephant in the room that nobody wants to acknowledge. A lot of children are subjected to trauma, especially sexual trauma, and not just from adults, but from other children. And this is a lot more likely to happen when there are multiple kids, especially multiple kids who are not living in situations where they have their own privacy and there's not 24/7 Hawkeye adult supervision over them. The way people treat having children like they're adopting a goldfish, it needs to be studied because children are not wild animals that you can just decide to throw in one big large room talking about something. Well, they have a roof over their head and they have clothes on their back and they have food in their mouths, they're good. No, 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 no. It takes a lot more than that. It takes a lot more foresight, it takes a lot more planning, and it seems to me that people are too lazy, too irresponsible to thoroughly think when they're having children. Okay, let's think. You're having 5 to 6 kids. They already outnumber you. You're putting them in a situation where they're going to have to be sleeping on top of each other. This issue of COCSA, child on child sexual abuse, sexual abuse, it's very rampant, and it's very especially rampant. I see in black communities, of course, probably white communities, other communities. It's very rampant, and that's why there's a such thing as playing house age, playing house phase. Why is that a thing that no one talks about more? Why is that an actual fear that no one's, shedding light on? It's very disturbing when I see people just have a bunch of kids and I know they're working 24/7 to put food on the table. Who's going to be with those children watching them 24/7? 4 or 5 kids. You're going to appoint the oldest to take care of their youngest. You're not going to be there 24/7. You come back home, you're too tired to supervise them, you're too tired to engage them in activities. You go to bed. What's happening with those kids? What are they doing amongst themselves? You guys don't think. You don't fucking think. And it's sad because our generation knows this and our past generation knows this, but when it comes to COCSA, it's really swept under the rug. Parents don't know how to handle it and they don't understand. You're having all these kids, it actually increases the likelihood of having it because you're not always going to have enough time to properly supervise, to properly regulate what's going on and in the household amongst the siblings all the time. You're not going to have that kind of time and that kind of Hawkeye. You're just not. There's too many of them. And the kids become traumatized by this. COCSA is very, very traumatizing. Very traumatizing. And a lot of what I noticed, Black and African communities, they don't know how to handle it. It's more so sweep it under the rug, everyone shut up, go about their business. But people are literally suffering because of, this kind of abuse that doesn't get talked about, and the way people are having kids, popping them out it's like it slips their mind. Hey, there are dark sides to parenting that you're going to have to be aware of, and you're going to have to do everything in your power to stay away from. Like, what? That's literally all I see. Especially for years, I always had this weird icky feeling when I see all these large families. I'm like, so y'all just don't y'all don't have a little anxiety about that? Are y'all teaching your kid? Are you revising what they're consuming? Are you revising the sleeping arrangements? are you having that eye to make sure nothing's going on? Like, are we just gonna pretend this is not a big enough issue that having a lot of children is going to make the situation hard? Like, having a lot of children is probably not a good idea. Having a lot of kids creates an environment for that to become something that's an issue. Nobody has foresight enough to think, this could be an issue that we should really take a longer approach, a longer thought process when we're thinking about having a bunch of kids, because this is an actual issue that happens a lot, happened in our past generation, happening in this generation. Like, do y'all not think this is gonna be a big issue when you're having a bunch of kids, something like 4, 5, 6? Huh? And it just shows people are incredibly selfish and they're irresponsible. They're irresponsible with their actual reproduction, their health, and they just willy-nilly pop out kids and then want to evade accountability and responsibility, talking about some, as long as they're loved and these are my kids. And no, they need to be put in a situation that sets them up for success and sets them up for the least amount of trauma. And the way y'all are going about it, having kids with a throw my hands up, God will provide attitude, y'all are setting these kids up to be traumatized. And so I had to speak on this because I saw one lady bring it up. She was a social worker and said a lot of people, especially in the South, there's a lot of incest going on, and it's rampant amongst the people with 6, 10, 12 type kids. I'll give you an example. Krishan and her family, and how a lot of that was going on, and how she's still traumatized by it, how other people in her family are traumatized by it, and it goes on a lot more than people would like to think. And so people need to think twice and very long and hard before they just haphazardly, recklessly start reproducing like they have nothing else better to do.
If you have so many children that you cannot take care of, I feel like it should be a crime. In fact, if you start getting pregnant, you go to the hospital and you tell doctor that you're pregnant, they need to check you. Check you very well, check your family, and ask you how many children do you have already? How are you taking care of them? And the thing is, you guys, most people that don't have money, especially where I'm from, they don't go to the hospital when they are pregnant. They don't go to the hospital when they are pregnant, especially the ones that have had one, two, three, four, maybe it's their fifth child. They don't go to the hospital. They have home delivery. They do everything by themselves. In fact, they call roadside nurse to come and treat them because they cannot afford to go to the hospital. I have witnessed one. I have witnessed one before. There's this woman that usually do my waxing for me, and she got pregnant and she did not know. Even me, I didn't know she was pregnant. All of a sudden, she stopped coming and all of that. I was like, what happened? Then she told me she has a baby. What you mean you have a baby? Then she started explaining to me that she got pregnant. She didn't know she was pregnant. I was like, but you told me you're on birth control, because she explained to me that she was on birth control. She was telling me a lot of how she's done with having kids and all of that, because of course she doesn't have more money and all of that, but she was telling me she's done with kids. I was like, okay. I said, what are you doing about it? She said she's on birth control pills. So she told me she stopped the pill and she started another family planning, and I think she didn't go for the next appointment. Maybe she missed like a day or two, and that was how she got pregnant. She didn't know she was pregnant until 6 months. So she carried the baby. And I was like, okay, so what hospital are you in? Da, 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 da. And she said, I know she's at home. I said, oh, you're back. She said she didn't go to the hospital. She delivered the child by herself. How? She said, in short, the child came with the leg, not even the head. You guys, I don't know how I started shouting at her, like, why would you do that to yourself? Do you want to unalive yourself? Why would you do that? I was so pissed at her, but I was happy that she survived and her child is fine. She's also very fine, but she was lucky. And the thing, she's not looking at me like, what's your problem? We don't go to the hospital. It's rich people that go to the hospital. I'm like, hey? So you people get pregnant and don't go to the hospital. She said she doesn't go to the hospital. She said all her five children, she has not gone to the hospital. I said, you deliver your baby. She said, yes, she usually deliver her baby by herself in the house. The thing is, if you don't have money to have children, stop bringing children to this world. That is just it. Because putting all of them in one place, in one room, you're exposing them to different things. And the thing is, your eyes cannot be everywhere. Just like the creator said, you cannot know everything that your children are doing because you yourself are going to go out there to hustle. Even if you're inside the same house with your kids, you cannot see all of it. I want this. I want to see five children at once. Even one self, they will fall down. You're looking like this. You're already falling down. You're already doing something that you are not aware of. Talk less of all of them run up and down at the same time. How can you monitor all of them? How can you pay attention to all these children? If you want to have so many children, have money to take care of, to give them basic. I'm not saying give them luxury, basic lifestyle that they need. And you also need help because doing all these things alone, to me, I just feel like it's draining. You need help so that you can be able to monitor and focus on those. Imagine you doing homeschooling for five children. You homeschool, you cook, you clean, you take care of them, you be their nurse, you do everything. When do you have time to live, to enjoy living, enjoy the life and breathe in fresh air? When? So I just feel like sometimes, especially mothers, they overlook because I feel like mothers are responsible for having so many children. Yes, they are responsible because if you don't want to have kids, you will not have kids. It is in your power not to have children. Even if your man or your husband or whoever is fighting for you, if you don't want to have that child, you're not going to have that child because if you're going to get unalive having that child, you are the one that's going to get unalive when you're pregnant. It's not the man. So you can decide and determine by yourself not to have kids. So if you're deciding to have so many children, are you thinking about the basic lifestyle that these children are going to live? Giving them basic lifestyle. Some of these people don't even eat well. Look at the other video that we talked about. They're living in hotel. Bring your children in hotel. Then she brought pizza. Like I don't get it, you guys. And she's pregnant. She's pregnant. You're pregnant. Like I don't know. Really, I don't know. Sometimes I want to think the way they are thinking. I want to actually see it in their side of, but I can't see it, and I don't know. I don't know. I cannot see it the way they are saying it because to me it's madness. You don't have money to take care of yourself, but you're having so many children to impress people just because you like large family. That's been selfish. That 26-year-old with six kids or four kids, 24 years old with six kids. She said she was having those children because she wanted love. She didn't get enough love while she was growing up. So she's already having kids to give her love. So imagine her having a child that doesn't love her. Or when they grow up, go through a stage and they're like, I want to cut you off, mom, because I don't love you. We should continue having children? How many children do you want to have to guarantee you having love? Sometimes the reason behind this so many children, the reason behind it doesn't make sense. Sometimes it's just to impress people, and people tell you, oh, do you know I have five children? Do you know I have six children? Do you know I have seven children? But when you think about the kids that you're bringing and you care about them a lot, you will know that you're actually causing more harm than good to those children. It might be okay for you, you might be enjoying it, but think about the children. Think about the environment you're bringing them inside. Is it safe? Are you exposing them to abuse? Are you? because they might be seeing you with your partner practicing or doing something, and when you're not around, they're practicing it on themselves. To them, they're just brothers and sisters doing something. They don't even know what they're doing. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know, because you all of you are in just one space. You're in just one space, and uh, anyway, what is your take on this video? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Respectfully, as always, your girl Mara David, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like and share and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.